This will be my 5th year bulk sewing for a certain client. I always know after March, April, especially after April, it's time to focus and get deep into my sewing studio and start pumping out some bulk items. This is probably going to be a part 1, part 2, and maybe a part 3 to this video. By the time I post this video, the bags will be shipped off. The event will be done. Here is the reveal of the bag that I have to complete. Isn't she cute? This is just one bag that I've completed. I'll get into that in a little bit on why I've only completed one so far. This is going to be a long journey completing this bulk order, but I feel so good where I am finalizing the bag. So that means that I will speed through this and not have that many problems with this bag, I'm hoping. Not like last year. If you've been following me since last year, and if you've watched the video where I had to make all of those backpacks for this certain client, you will know that it kind of gave me hell. I'll get into that later, but y'all, I'm kind of excited to complete this bulk order because this is my 5th year working with this client, and I'm forever grateful for her and for her reaching out to me every year to make the retreat bag. This is the retreat swag bag that she is giving to everyone who signs up for the retreat. Every year she has a retreat in a different location. This retreat is to help Black female entrepreneurs in the 0 to 5 year stages of their businesses, and just to help them to advance and grow. And it's just a great event to attend and be amongst all of those wonderful, beautiful Black females. Melaron is doing a great deed. And just like I said, I'm forever grateful for her for always working with me to create the swag bag for each year. If y'all want to check her out, go to her website. I'll have all of her info in the description box below. Follow her on Instagram. I think she's on TikTok as well, but I know she's fully active on Instagram. And check out her website. Before I get into this video, I want to say welcome back to the channel, y'all. If you're new to the channel, my name is Michelle. I do all things sewing over here, sewing vlogs, sewing tutorials, everything sewing. So if that's your vibe, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. I'm in the very beginning stages of completing this bulk order. I had to make a template first just to know like what I was getting into. I did make a template using some regular black denim, and this was a template that I first made to show my client just to make sure that we were both on the same page, and if she liked it, what she wanted to change, what she wanted to add. She really didn't want to add or change anything on it. She just wanted to know the actual size once the bag opens up, because it is drawstring. You could say that this is a drawstring bag, but there's nothing simple about this. It's not like one of them basic drawstring bags that you get from the dollar store or something. This is elevated. It's nice and sturdy. I have about 5 to 6 weeks to complete this order. I have to make 50 bags. My main goal for this first week is to cut out all of my pattern pieces. We both decided that, well, she did decide that she wanted some type of drawstring bag, but she didn't know what size she wanted. She didn't know if she wanted it like a tote bag size, but we brainstormed and we came up with a smaller version of a drawstring bag. And I feel like you can also tuck the handles or the straps in and treat it as a clutch. I don't think I've told her this yet, but you could tuck the straps in and have it as a clutch. I think that'll be a bonus to this bag. My main concern was reducing the size of the bag because I'm trying to make 2 bags using 1 pair of jeans. So once I split a pair of jeans open, I'll have like 2 pieces of fabric, 2 long pieces of fabric. That was my main focus earlier today, with scaling the pattern down so I can fit all of the pieces on 1 pair of pants. I had to draft this pattern on my own just to get this particular shape of the bag. I just realized I've been doing all of this pattern drafting this year, which was my main goal. That was one of my goals for this year. And I think I've made about 4 patterns on my own. That could be something that I can work on after I complete this bulk order and start learning how to use Adobe Illustrator. I do have a subscription with Illustrator, but I feel like I just haven't had the time to sit down and learn how to actually use it and start making my own patterns on Illustrator. I'm saving all of my patterns. I have this pattern. I have my balloon pants that I fully drafted on my own that can become a pattern. I have my denim knot bag that I want to share with the world because that was my first pattern that I drafted, and that was the first bag that I ever made. So that's another pattern, and I have another pattern that I can't even think about what I drafted. I can actually do this and start building my catalog of patterns. And I'm just so excited about that. I'm going off subject. I need to keep this moving so I can accomplish some goals for this week. I already sat down and assessed this bag that I made. I had questions. I had questions about the structure of the bag, the strap width, the strap length. I didn't know if this was too long, and I adjusted the width. So the original width was 1 inch. I reduced it down to 3/4 of an inch. And I think this is a better fit for the bag. I think that 1 inch was way too thick for this size of a bag. So that is good. Now I put interfacing in this bag, but I think I'm going to scrap that because I feel like it's too thick. I don't like the feel of it. And with it having interfacing, it's a little hard to pull the drawstrings. I don't want it to be too hard to pull. If I just do away with the interfacing, and it just won't be so stiff. I want to see if I can insert the lining so I can avoid the open seams in the bag. I have the open seams. All of that is showing in the bag. I thought about creating bias tape and just binding all of the inside. I don't love doing binding with bias tape. I don't love it. So I know once I create all of these bags, and if that's my last step to do this, I'm going to hate it. I'm going to hate it. I don't like doing it, especially with bulk orders. I know I'm not going to like doing that step once I get to that. And with that being the last step, I'm not going to like it. So I need to come up with a better way to hide these open seams because I'm not liking it for this bag. I think with the second bag, what I'm going to do is create the lining first and see if I can just insert it and stitch it within the exterior. But I think what I want to do now is cut out the pockets. Now, this was another thing that I wanted to adjust. The pocket is a little bit too big in the interior of the bag. I think I need to reduce it maybe 2 inches. Here's the fabric for the interior of the bag. We didn't use this fabric last year for the book sacks, but we did use this for the fanny packs that I made for her. I love those fanny packs. I still wear my fanny pack till this day. We used her branded logo. I purchased this fabric from Spoonflower. This is a tip for anyone who wants to get into bulk sewing. Double your fabric. I have 4 pieces of fabric here. Once I start cutting out my pockets, I'll be cutting out 4 pieces at a time. I think I want to move on to the drawstring, but I'm just going to start with this bulk right here. So for one bag, I'm using 2 long pieces of cord to make the drawstring. Each drawstring equals 40 inches in order to fit the bag that I'm making. In order to make this easy on myself, I am going to use my table as a measuring guide. Instead of using my measuring tape and having to stretch out the tape with the cord, we need this to be as efficient as possible. I am just going to take some tape, take a little bitty piece, put it on one end of my table, have my tape here. Just going to take a pencil and putting a little mark on my tape. I'm going to take my measuring tape and measure this out to 40 inches. Taking another piece of tape and I'm putting a mark down here on this piece of tape. Now I can just use these 2 dots on my table and start cutting out my cord. This can be very annoying dealing with this. Once you cut it, you have to have a piece of tape around this. If you don't have tape around it when you cut it, it can all unravel on you. I'm going to take some strips of tape long enough to wrap around the whole cord. Just going to set this up so it could just be quicker for me. Get my first cord. I have my mark here. Take a piece of my tape and I'm going to wrap my tape around here tightly. In between the tape, I'm going to make my cut. It is currently the next day. I am taking 20 minutes out of my lunch to do something with this bulk order. I've already cut the pockets and I've cut about 30 to 40 of the cords for the drawstring last night. I am going to probably work on that later this evening. I figured it out and I will need some more. So I hurried up last night and ordered some more cord. I underestimated that as well. But that's the good thing about working on bulk orders in advance. Just in case you run out of something, if you underestimated like the yardage for fabric or any type of supplies needed, if you underestimate it, then you have that time to go ahead and order it and for it to get in on time so you can complete your order. I don't feel like cutting cord at this moment. So I'm going to set a timer and I'm going to set it for 20 minutes and whatever I can cut today out of this fabric for 20 minutes, that's progress. This is the interior fabric that I'll be using and here is my pattern piece for the interior. I'm gonna try to make this easy on myself. I think this is about 10 yards of fabric, I believe. And I just put my pattern piece on the fabric and did it by 3s. I can only get 2 cutouts in a row. So I went down 3, that was 6 cutouts in one area, which is 12 because this is on the fold. So I just multiplied 12 by whatever I had left. And I need 100 cutouts of the interior and I think I calculated it up to 117. So I'll be fine with the yards that I bought. I think I accurately ordered what I needed for this interior fabric. So I'm going to set my timer. Whatever I can complete in 20 minutes, that's what I'll do. I'm going to make a fun guesstimation and say that I can cut 50 within 20 minutes. So let's start our timer. So I'm taking time here to show y'all that I already cut out this piece here and I measured it 1, 2, 3, and I left a little bit of space on the end so I don't cut myself short. Once I made this cut, I could just sit this right on top of the next section and then make this cut. I think I have over 50. 50, over 50 in 20 minutes. It's not bad. Let's see. I only cut 42. I almost made it to my 50, and that's not bad. Now I can go back to work, and then when I get home this evening, I have to do one order. I have to complete one order, and then I'm going to rest for a little bit and then come back in the sewing studio to work on something else. I am making some headway with this order. I don't think I filmed myself last night, but I was able to get all of these cut, and I was able to cut all of the interior lining last night. I had to hurry up and buy another 25 yards of cord. That should be coming in tomorrow. So once I get that in, then I can cut the rest of those. I think I only need about 30 more cut. So that will be done and out the way and checked off my list. Now I can check off the interior, and all of my pockets are cut once I get the cord and cut all of those. And then the only thing that I have to cut is the denim. I started doing a little bit of this last night. I timed cutting out one pair of jeans, and I did it at a comfortable pace. I gutted the jeans and cut out all of my pattern pieces needed from the jeans. So I'm able to get 2 bag cutouts of all of the pattern pieces out of one pair of jeans. And it came up to 14 minutes to cut out all of the pattern pieces for 2 bags. That means that I can cut out the pattern pieces for 8 bags within an hour. That is another tip for people who want to get into bulk order, or if you want to like master bulk ordering and bulk sewing. Just time yourself with each step that you're doing, and that'll give you an estimate of how long it's going to take you to do that particular step. So if you need to cut out 100 pieces of cord, time yourself cutting out 10 cords, and then that'll give you an estimate of how long it's going to take you to cut out 100 cord pieces. Estimate time on cutting out all of the pieces for the denim. I'm giving myself 2 days to do this. So I'm taking like 3 or 4 hours per evening in order to complete this task. Then it'll be time to create the straps and fold in certain pieces to this bag, because to make the drawstring, the insert for the drawstring, I have to fold in the top portion of the pattern pieces in order to make the holes for the drawstring. That will be my next step after I cut out all of the denim pieces. I'm going to do this for another hour and then chill the rest of the night. My brain is tired. I'm like mentally tired. It was just a lot going on today, but I need to push through this and just keep on pace so I'm not burning myself out towards the end of this 5 or 6 week period. That happened to me with those book sags, and oh my gosh, that really, really did stress me out. I was so upset with myself because I passed the deadline that I gave myself to ship it out to my client, and I passed that deadline by like 2 or 3 days. It really devastated me because I didn't accomplish what I had set. And since I've been working with her every year, last year that was my 4th year working with her, and I was never late with any of the orders. And it was just that those book sags were so stressing. It was such a tiring job. I had like 14 different pieces with that bag, and you're dealing with a buckle, you're dealing with webbing, you're dealing with it was just so many things. A side pocket, I had to put an interior pocket in it. It was very draining. It was so stressful. This bag is so cute, but it's simpler than the book sag. It's really enjoyable this time around. I've cut out pattern pieces for 15 bags. So that means I have to cut out pieces for 35 more bags. I'm feeling so good about this. I feel like I'm in a good place. I'm not stressed about it. My nerves are not worked up. I'm doing pretty good with it. I'm gonna go take a shower, eat something, and probably get back in here for another hour. It just depends on how I feel tonight. But if I don't feel up to it, I'm just going to rest for the rest of the night and just start fresh for tomorrow and then the next day until I complete all 50. I think I'm going to end the video here. This is only part 1 of this bulk sewing for this bulk order. If you like this video, go ahead and like it, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. All right, y'all, I'll talk to you later. Bye.